Attention passionate Detroit, Lions fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Detroit Lions' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Detroit Lions fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRIENDS and Detroit LIONS fans. Let's get to the news, man. If you're even remotely paying attention to the NFC North right now, you know things are heating up. And at the center of the buzz is a potential blockbuster trade that could shake up the entire division, and maybe even the NFC playoff picture. Rumors are swirling around Seattle's young cornerback Devin Witherspoon, a rookie out of Illinois, who's been making waves with the Seahawks this season. Now, the word is that Seattle might be willing to part ways with him, and the Detroit Lions are reportedly very interested. This isn't just some minor trade gossip. It's a scenario that could redefine how the Lions approach their secondary and bolster their chances of making a deep playoff run. Let's back up for a second and look at the details. The Seahawks, currently sitting at 4-4, have been experiencing some struggles on defense. Their secondary, which was supposed to be a strength coming into the season, has been giving up about 25 points per game, and their overall pass defense has been a bit leaky. They're also in a financial crunch, with roughly $9 million in cap space, and they're eyeing a rebuild of their offensive line after Geno Smith's recent fatigue. That means some tough decisions, especially with their young stars, are on the horizon. Now, sources say the Seahawks are considering trading Witherspoon, a player they see as having elite coverage skills, but perhaps not as essential as some of their other assets, especially with the looming need to free up cap space and acquire draft picks. They're reportedly looking at a deal that involves a second-round pick in the 2026 draft, and this could be a way for them to get some relief financially while also restocking their draft capital. And here's the kicker. The main reason they're eyeing a trade with Detroit is to free up around $14 million in cap space, which they want to use to rebuild their offensive line and give Geno Smith some extra protection. The Seahawks have been cautious about extending Witherspoon's contract, especially with questions about his long-term value and the team's cap outlook. Reports suggest they're hesitant to commit more than $20 million in future earnings, and releasing him now saves them significant money. Plus, with Witherspoon's production so far, his first season in the league, he's shown flashes of being a true ball hawk. As a rookie, he's already accumulated 3 interceptions and 10 pass breakups with a PFF coverage grade of 84.5, and he's been a key piece in their secondary. His coverage skills are top-notch, allowing only a 40% completion rate against him in his career, which is elite for a young corner. He's also a ball hawk with an EPA per target of -0.43, meaning he's impactful every time the ball comes his way. Let's talk about why the Lions are so interested. Detroit, sitting at 5-3, has been dealing with injuries in their secondary, especially at cornerback. Terrion Arnold, one of their key players, is currently on injured reserve with an ankle injury, and the team needs reliable cover guys to step up. Witherspoon, at 60 and just 24 years old, has the kind of agility and speed that makes him a perfect outside corner for Aaron Glenn's aggressive defensive scheme. His ability to lock down top receivers and create turnovers is exactly what Detroit needs to elevate their defense. And honestly, his style of play fits perfectly with the Lions' identity: aggressive, ball hawking, and relentless in coverage. If they can get him, it's like adding a shadow to their secondary, someone who can cover the division's best receivers like Justin Jefferson of the Vikings, who's been lighting it up with over 850 yards this season. Now, why would Seattle pull the trigger? Well, they're a bit cautious about extending Witherspoon long-term, especially with questions surrounding his future contract value. They're wary of paying upwards of $20 million per year, which might be a stretch for their current cap situation. Plus, they're eyeing the future, and acquiring a second-round pick for him makes sense if they believe they can get similar or better value with other players or draft picks. They're also prioritizing their defensive line, which is giving up around 4.1 yards per carry. They need help there, especially with their run defense, and freeing up some cap space to address that area could be more critical right now. From Detroit's perspective, acquiring Witherspoon would be a game-changer. His presence would immediately boost the secondary, a unit that's already shown flashes of dominance but needs that extra spark. Imagine a secondary with him, Brian Branch, and the other young pieces the Lions are developing. Witherspoon's elite coverage skills could help the Lions reduce completions allowed from about 62% to closer to 66%. But his impact goes beyond just numbers. His ability to generate turnovers and disrupt passes is invaluable. He's already projected to snag around 5 interceptions this season, which would be a huge boost for the Lions' ball-hawking tendencies. Plus, his agility and quickness mean he can serve as an outside anchor, matching up with some of the division's top receivers like Vikings, Justin Jefferson, or Bears, Odunze, who's been a deep threat and YAC monster this season. And let's not forget the impact on the Lions' overall defense. Witherspoon's addition would elevate the entire unit, especially Aaron Glenn's scheme, which has been effective but could reach new heights with a player of his caliber. His ability to cover top receivers, combined with his knack for forcing turnovers, would make the Lions a nightmare for opposing quarterbacks. His presence on the outside would also open up opportunities for blitzes and more aggressive coverage schemes, leading to more sacks, more turnovers, and ultimately more wins. Now, some fans might ask, what about the risk? And that's a fair point. Witherspoon has dealt with a shoulder injury earlier this season, missing some time, but then returning with a shutout performance against the Rams in Week 11, allowing 0 receptions. That shows resilience and the kind of toughness Detroit needs in their secondary. His young age and the fact that he's already shown such high-level coverage ability make him a safe bet for the future. Plus, his stats compare favorably to other top young corners like Carlton Davis of the Buccaneers, especially considering his quickness and ball skills. Looking at the bigger picture, this trade could give the Lions a serious edge in the NFC North. Their schedule is remaining tough, but adding a player of Witherspoon's caliber could be the difference-maker in close games. His ability to shut down division rivals' top receivers, combined with Detroit's improving front seven, and their knack for creating turnovers, makes them a real contender. Plus, with the odds shifting from plus 900 to plus 600 for a Super Bowl shot with Witherspoon's potential impact, it's clear that the betting markets see him as a true X-factor. Imagine him shutting down receivers like Watson from the Packers or breaking up passes against Bears, Odunze. He could be the piece that pushes Detroit into the elite tier. And let's be honest, the Lions have been building something special over the past few seasons. Jared Goff is playing some of his best football, and the team's young core, including Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jahmyr Gibbs, is only getting better. Adding a player like Witherspoon, who can lock down the outside and force turnovers, could be the final piece to help them not just make the playoffs, but also contend deep into January. The NFC is wide open, and with the right moves, Detroit can position itself as the team to beat in the division and possibly beyond. So what's the final verdict? Well, if the trade goes through, Lions fans should prepare for an even more formidable defense, one that can match the best in the league. Witherspoon's ball-hawking skills, combined with his elite coverage ability, are exactly what Detroit needs to push their Super Bowl aspirations into overdrive. Seahawks fans might see it as a tough decision, but in the NFL, sometimes you have to make bold moves to reach the top. And for Lions fans, this potential trade isn't just about acquiring another player. It's about taking a giant leap toward Lombardi Trophy glory. This could be the move that cements Detroit's place as a true contender in the NFC for years to come. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest Detroit Lions news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. So Lions fans, how do you feel about this potential move? Do you think Witherspoon is the game changer Detroit needs to lock down the secondary and elevate the defense? Would you be thrilled to see him in Honolulu blue, shutting down division rivals and helping the Lions chase their first Super Bowl since the 1950s? I want to hear your thoughts. Drop your comments below and tell me if you believe this trade is a real game changer or if you think Detroit should hold tight and focus on their current roster. Either way, one thing is for sure, the Lions are making moves and the future looks bright. I'll be watching closely, and I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for all the latest Lions news. Your team is on the rise, and with a move like this, they could be unstoppable.